All right, so we're playing a tournament here, 9-hole cup. Let's see if we can have a good 9-hole cup. So I've actually followed my own rules. So like, I shot a video, recorded. This is why it's so important to record your own video. I went back and watched, and there were some times when my opponent did the right thing, and I was able, and on one particular shot, my opponent hit a hole-in-one on a one ring grate to the left and was able to go back, and they actually did the wind ring adjustments. I was able to go back and kind of get an idea of what was going on. Stop ball 5, 4, 3. Man, there's a couple holes where that might be a good ball here. That the extra side spin might be helpful. Maybe. Let's do a practice round and see if there's any times where those balls would be helpful. I know the next time they come out with some 5 power topspin boost balls, I'm definitely got to think hard about that. Preferably with some wind. I think those Amazonian balls had like, not the Amazonian balls, there was a 5 power topspin boost ball. What was that ball called? What was it called? It was this one right here. Yeah, 3 wind. Yes, that right there. I mean, you can't. The side spin. There's a ton of shots that ball right there is awesome, where you can get the side spin with curl. But that 3 wind resistance is nice, and with topspin boost, so it works good in headwind and in tailwind. That is a good ball. So hole number 1, I'm going to take my number 5 bag. Let's make sure I got my bag set up right. I don't know that there's any time I'm going to use a Goliath. I actually don't think I need access to that bag. I'm going to take my number 5, and I'm going to take that. I'm going to take a 5 power ball. We'll see if I can get, if the wind's right, I can get over so I can see how much farther forward I can get. But if the wind's not right, I'm going to bounce it over, and I'll use my number 3 bag. And maybe a 4-4-4. Nah, I don't think I'll need the power. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Here we go. Nah, not 1v1. I think I might have a club card trading if we're past 5 o'clock. Hammerhead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Trade in. See what we get today. Big Topper. Definitely working on my Big Topper. I think the Big Topper, when it gets maxed out, it gets some good stuff. It gets some distance. I think it's like 232. It's like the same as a rock. And it picks up some accuracy. Yes, sir. All right, here we go. So I'm going to take the notes that I made from yesterday, and now what I have is what driver I want to use, what ball. There was a couple of the holes that I was in that I hit into the rough, and on one hole I pitched out, and the other one I played it. But so I'm not really sure what I'm going to do on that, where I'm at in my second shot. But I'm working off of my original walkthrough. Practice. Hole number 1. Practice now. Let's go check out hole number 1. Is this hole number 1? Hole number 1. All right. Now I think yesterday when I played, and now it's up there at the top. Hey, I'm trying to grab a hold of the freaking pin. Hold on, I gotta turn the screen. Look, what kind of rookie move is this? All right. Now let me put my pin over here on this side. I think we can get over here, but yesterday I went against a headwind and it was like 3.5 to 4 somewhere in that neighborhood, some 3.7, and it was kind of going like this. And the deal is that the wind down in this pocket is blowing like 100%. So if you were using an extra mile and it's 2.1 per ring, and it's 3.5, that's what, a ring and a half and some change. So like moving at 3 rings. And even though it red line up here, it looked like it was good, it was definitely going to get blown in. So we'll have to see. So if you're bouncing over from this side, you want a big topper works good because it can get you out there the farthest. So like those 4 topspin balls with the topspin boost might be helpful. It'll get you farther forward because you're losing some distance with your big topper. That's why when it gets to level 8 and it gets up there to the same distance as a rock, that is awesome. Awesome. There we go. There we have it. There's the ways to play it. And yesterday I would have had to pull out a Power 5 ball, but I wanted to see what kind of distance I could get with just a Titan. I think I did max overpower. No, I think I was able to pull it up. Pinch it along the red line, as it were. If I can get an opponent, it's a big if I can get a replay. So there was one of the holes, one of my viewers, was talking about the math. I went back and watched the video and I thought I had the math right. I mean, I'm rounding because I'm doing it in my head, so I'm not going to carry too many. See, I've got 2 full rings. That's 3 miles per hour. I got a tailwind this time. That's awesome. What was that, like 5 topspin? I'm going to just do 4. Four, 9. I'm just going to take out 4, 9. Hitting it perfect. That was a little too far left. That puts me, you can split the distance there and get that shot on track and run against that sand a little bit more. You can see how much I cleared the sand. I was trying to give myself room with the sand so I can go back and watch the video and see where I set it up. I think with max overpower I was 2 rings, and I could give myself 3 rings if I wasn't gonna. And I put a lot of curl on it, and I took it in that direction. You see how close my opponent was to almost clipping, and I think they're in that spot. Now they're just as far away as me. I think you can get closer though, and you obviously can. Yeah, where they're at, that's perfect. Yeah, whatever they did. I usually don't like to hit my rapier at max. Two 6. It's 1.1 per ring. So there's 2, 2. That leaves me 4. I don't think that was right. I got perfect. I got lost in the math and I don't think I got it right. Woo! In the hole. I got it. I couldn't remember what the numbers were. I got the first part right. It was 2, 2. And I was trying to split 2, 2. 2, 2. It was 2, 6. That's 5. And then I forgot about the 1, 1. I was thinking 2, 2, and I go, that can't be right. It should be like 2.5. But I did slightly less than 2.5, I think. but it got in the hole. All right, so we got some notes on that. And I know you can get closer, so I'm going to watch my opponent. I wasn't paying attention. I was thinking when my opponent was taking their shot, but whatever distance my opponent was in, they were in mid-rapier. And at mid-rapier, you can run the topspin. And so you can run it up there. And the closer you can get the first bounce to you, the more accurate the club becomes. You really have to hit it. You really have to hit it. You can almost always give yourself one side or the other. Especially on this course, that hole, it drops. All right, hole number two. Hole number two. And this particular par three, I think there's a no move shot. And the deal is that my opponent brought the wrong ball, and so did I. We brought like a 2-power ball, so our red line was right there. I mean, it starts you off at minimum club. But there was a no hit shot or a no move shot. I'm going to try it with a 0-power ball. I'm going to move the red line back even farther, and I've got some of those low. It seems like I have some low wind ones. I do. Let's select it. And what am I taking to the cup? I think it's a sniper. If that bag doesn't work, I'm screwed. Oh, didn't I just play hole number one? Could have swore I just played hole number one. Why was it already giving me hole number? Why was it only giving me hole number one? I'm in Ricky. Number two. Maybe I just dreamed it. What kind of deal is that? I don't even remember playing the hole. I played the hole. I remember playing the hole, but I don't remember. I remember all the stuff that happened, but I don't remember shooting the video on it. What kind of deal? Are you losing it, dude? There is no spoon. That's the deal. I'm just like in the zone. Italian Queen. Here we go. Let me put my perfect glasses on. That might help. Wow, much clearer. Should be like 2.5 backspin and a quarter left-hand side spin. And a minimum club. I'm just going to do a straight up shot. I'm just going to take out the wind. .8 and minimum club 1.8 divided by 1.3. It's 1.38 rings. There's 1, 2.5. There's 1.38 exactly. Isn't it perfect? Let's see like where that's at. And I needed to take out just a titch of wind. So I'm going to start at 10%. And I'll have to go back and see how much spin I put on it to get me to the hole, but just a no move shot with a 0-power ball. I should have, what the deal is I should sacrifice one and go in there and move it. and see where our red line's at, so we can learn where. But we won't be able to practice the no move shot. You could put it close. Well, if you knew how much spin to put on it beforehand, then you could go in there and move it and see where your red lines are at, just in case. Just in case. I suppose I could do that. All right, all right, all right. Practice now. I liked it. Number 3. Why is it not doing that? Hold number 3. Hold number 3. All right, I'm going to bring out a big power ball and try and get as far as I can up into that. Now, I only have a few of those. They're albatross balls, the 5 power top spin boost balls. This is definitely a hole or a 5 power ball to get you. And the deal is I think your red line's actually back in here. You can't get all the way to the front. But so what you're looking for is, and because of that, here's the deal. And let me zoom in a little on this area to highlight it. When you're coming through in your first bounce, yesterday I was being over optimistic on the drive when I shot the video, and I was thinking that you could get further up into the hole, but I think you can only get about halfway even with a 5 power ball. And so your first bounce is out here in the middle. If you got wind helping you, it's big, but if you've got wind helping you, it's going to help you on the other side, because when you come in, if you think about your arc, drawing a line to the rough, it's actually coming in a little. So if you hit out here on your next bounce, then your bounce is out in here, so that's like a 2-ring grate to the right. If this was where you were aiming, and anything to the left, you're in the rough. So giving yourself a couple rings, that's a 1-ring or a 2-ring grate before you get to this transitional point. And so you can give yourself 2.5 rings if you really want to give yourself some leeway in this corner. And so if you're not really trying to get the S, you're trying to drop it down here as far as you can on that trajectory to give yourself enough room right here. This spot right here is going to dictate where you can consistently get on the next shot. You could come in here and try and go like this and try and run it up and try and get farther up to the tip, but there is a spot down here where you might be able to just get all the way to that tip. Sometimes you're in these situations where the optimal spot is right here. Even though you got farther forward, you actually took yourself out of the best shots from like right here, because from here from right here you can do a rough bump, or you have options. All right, let's see if we can play this. Let's see if we can play it. Hole number 3. But I was over optimistic on the one yesterday, at least on the first bounce of the drive. Okay, we got a tailwind, so I'm going to bring a Zerk. I'm going to bring out the extra mile. Try and get as far up in that hole. And I'm really concerned about my second bounce. I want to give myself plenty of room. I want to be in the middle. If I could put curl on it, it will be closer on that second bounce. And I could really use that wind. Oh, I'll end up in the rough. Not on the first bounce, but on the second bounce, it'll end up in the rough. I had a 1-ring grate to the left or the right, but not a 2. And a 1-ring might have rolled out at the very end into the rough. There's sand up there. Yeah, I think even a 1-ring. I think that distance right there, I'd have to put more curl on it. If you look at your second bounce, you can go back and rewind the video and freeze it where I stretched it out there, and you can see the second bounce at that angle. And you can look at the distance from that second bounce to the rough on the left And if you put curl on it, you're trying to run straight up the fairway so you can get more headroom, but you take the risk of over curling it and clipping the rough and just bleeding out. But you want to put some curl on it. Yeah, you got a great rough bump from here. Where am I at? My club. Let's figure that shit out. Max, mid. I'm at mid, so I'm at 4 per ring. I don't know if I have enough topspin to get up there. Nope. No, I don't have enough topspin. I got enough backspin. 2.6. It's in the 4 per ring, so there's 2.6. Those always look like 2 ring, because I hit on the edge, and I don't know if it's my device or if it's just that's the way it is for everybody, but I hit on the edge. I catch it on the edge a lot in my vision, and so very seldom. So I have a hard time to distinguishing between whether it's a 2 ring grate or a 1 ring grate. They almost always look like 2 ring grates to me. It's like I was way off. 1 ring or 75,000. It's probably not going to go in the hole. It's not. It only go. Hey, it goes in the hole when you're still trying to figure out the hole. And you can go back and reverse engineer it if you record your own video, and you can establish what you did wrong, or if there wasn't an error, like what adjustment you needed to make in order to get that result. All right. Here we go. What hole are we on? Now, see, I don't know what hole we're on. I gotta look at my notes here because it keeps going back to hole number 1. Hole number 4. Epoch. This is the... Okay, this hole, I established something yesterday on this hole, so there's ways to play it. You can try and hit up into here, and you got a great shot coming across. I mean, I think it's a short iron shot if you can get down in there far enough. It's a very good shot. But what I'm trying to do is bounce off of this right here. So the tee box. See where the tee box is at? The tee box is right here. So I'm hitting from here to there. So it's going on this angle. So I'm trying to get from this so that I'm shooting straight up that chute. So I'm trying to cover this angle. And with a 3 side spin ball, if you can only put on a couple top spin, otherwise you're going to bleed off right here. And with a 4 side spin ball, you can skirt this. Sometimes it'll be right there, and sometimes it'll be right there in the rough. But yesterday I used the 5 side spin ball, and I was trying, because the deal is that you want to get as much top spin as you can get. But it doesn't make any sense to bring out a 5 side spin ball if you're not using over 4 side spin. So I put on 4.5 and as much top spin as I could possibly get on there. And I had more than enough room, and I came through here. Let's zoom in on that area. I came shooting through this area, and I was going pretty much right up the chute. But I was on this, so this is exactly where I was at. If we draw a line here and we split the fairway in half, I was half the distance. I was a quarter of the distance away from, I was closer on to this rough. But I had a little bit of room. I had enough room that if I would have put on 4 and a sliver of side spin, instead of 4.5, I might have been able to get a little bit more topspin and get even further up there. But I was literally right there. I mean, I think it was a mid. It was in my rapier, but I can't remember if it was a mid or a max. All right, that's what I'm trying. That's what I'm going for. That is hole number 4. Let's get one of the. Let's pick this stuff so we don't have to pick it out on the course. Power. think I just bought some of those. See, I can't get into that top spin. So do I have another 5-side spin? No, all I have is 444s, and you need more than a 444. Just a little teeny bit more side spin gets you on the right angle. So this might just be a utility ball where I'm buying it. It's when I need more side spin, I have to give up the, I'm not looking for, but sometimes you want more top spin because you're doing those straight up shots. That's the deal. That's a good utility ball. Here we go. And I got to bring my Apocalypse. So bag number 5. Bag number 5. We are on hole number 4. Practice. Practice. Practice, practice. So at this point, I don't make a lot of notes to my notes. I'm just kind of like playing, and I'm just like looking at my notes and glancing at them, and then I'll go back and watch this video and I'll make adjustments on here in a different color ink. And then what I would used to do is I would make a clean, at that point I would go through and I would clean up my notes, and I would create a whole new set on the other side. I should have wrote them all in a notebook. I don't know what the hell I was thinking. I do a lot of stuff in notebooks, and I didn't even think about that when I first started playing. I just wrote them down on a piece of paper, and then of course I've done that ever since, so I keep doing it. You can get down there if you bring out a bigger power ball. You can get down there and you don't have to do all this overpower shit. And you can make that shot very consistent, and it's a beautiful shot down there. Beautiful. It's everything you're looking for in a short iron shot. I think you have 2 ways that you can play it, and it's good to go. I play with a Kingfisher, but I think if you play it with a Hornet, you can top spin it. You can rough bump it. Okay, 4. Okay, I was at 4.5, but I'm going to come down from that just a titch. Just 4 and a little. 3, 7. 1.5 per ring. So there's 3. There's 3.5, and I'm going to go a little extra. Maybe 10% max curl. And I hit it great on the outside. That's bad. I hit it great on the right, so it's good here, but it'll roll off into the rough. Got a great shot from here, though. It's if you hit it perfect, it goes in. So there's not really a downside over here. Ideally, you don't want to hit it great to the right. Let's see if my opponent... I came here, I think, because most of the time I use a Kingfisher in this account for my short iron. I come out and hit this with a Kingfisher. But in my auto account, I use a Hornet, and it has top spin in it. I can do a rough bump there. That, my friends, was crappy. Crappy. It is like 16 per ring down in this range, so that'd be a quarter of a ring. Let's see where that put me. That's about where I'd have moved it. And then I hit it 2 rings straight to the left. Got to get my timing down on those. I hit a couple last week. I wasn't in the rough in the weekend round. I was in the right spot on every hole. So my drive delivery system put me in the right spot every hole. I think I might have had to take like 1 shot out of the rough. Maybe. Gotta hit those perfect. Gotta hit them perfect. They will go in. Damn it. All right. That is the right stuff, though. Hole number 5. Sniper and a 0 power ball. So let me pick my clubs. Since it's dicking around with me, I'm going to forget what hole I'm on. Sniper, 0 power ball. And I got to see where I'm at in my club. This is hole number 5. Hole number 5. Here we go. Here we go. I'm mumbling to myself. When in doubt, mumble. That's the phrase. I think we're doing a rough bump right here, and I'm using a 0 power ball, 5 side spin. And I think this might be one of those ones where the wind is a bonus. 2-2. Where am I at in my club? There's max. There's man, there's mid. So I'm about mid club. So it's 1.1 per ring. If I did a 10%, it'd be 1 per ring. So 2-2. And I still hit it great with a fucking precision ball. Yeah, I think that might work. Hit that perfect, it might work. How can you not hit it perfect with a freaking precision ball? That had to be very little spin. I have to go down there. The deal is I don't remember spin a lot because I remember where the rings are at. So I'll put my rings in that spot, and then whatever spin it takes to get me to the hole from that spot, that's what it is. But you can remember that sometimes you want to remember the spin, put the spin on it, and then you can go find the spot. And sometimes you can put your ball in your club in the spot and then set up the spin. For me, that's one of those types of holes. So I hardly ever remember the spin on those. I just remember where I'm at. I think I'm like blue ring off up at the top. Or I was 2 rings off up at the top. When you get down there, there's a place it feels like it's the right spot, and that's where it was. But it was always on a ring. I actually learned that stuff from Tommy because Tommy, at the very beginning, he wasn't into the ring method. He had another method, and the method he used was that right there. And so the deal was, I was a fan of the ring method, but he introduced the guy who came up with the ring method, but he didn't use it. And then in a later video, he talked about that he showed his method, and that's the whole thing about being 2 rings off. I mean, he doesn't do that when he's setting up shots, or even anybody that's out there. I used to have a buddy that shot videos, Hammer and Hank, and he would, he was down to the blade of grass, like move it over 3 blades of grass and blah, blah, blah. I couldn't keep up with it. It's like, hey man, we're just like, why are we leaving ourselves like a 1/16 of a ring of separation? I guess you can if you're down to the blades of grass. What is the next hole? Hole number 5, 6. I think we already played this hole. I think this is the hole we just played. Hole number 6. Hole number 6. My notes say extra mile. I had an Apocalypse written on my notes, and then I went to an extra mile because I think I'm trying to blast it out here and come out into this area on the top path. I think I was for a while, if you can get down here, like trying to go that path. But I think there is a path that you can go going down here. But you do have an obstruction in your way. So it's clear if you can make it over, you're not going to, I think it's going to be hard to get past that sand. But you can get on this upper track. So if it does run out, you have space in front of you. Let's see if we can get it. If we have favorable winds, we'll just pick up. Nope. This hole number 6. They're trying to get our practice tokens here. And I only got one practice token left, and I'm on hole number 6. So I better grab something that will give me. There's a one-way. I'm pretty sure there's one of these explosions. Let's see if there's a... Is that the only one? 500. There we go. Otherwise we'll run out and I won't be able to show the last 2 videos. Or the last 2 holes. I'll have to wait. I'll have to go play some one-on-one. Hole number 6. Yesterday, when I went out to just make some notes on these holes, in the scouting report, we had a headwind, and we not only had a headwind, but obviously it's a max over power shot. I hit it like 2 rings great to the right, and the right's on the inside. You have to hit it farther forward on the right side in order to make it. And with a headwind, I could have afforded to hit a 2 ring great to the left, but not a right. I'm not even sure I had a 1 ring great to the right. I was pinching it down there and trying to give myself as much room at the top as possible. If I hit a 1 ring great to the left, I'd be fine. Fill in the blanks. Is this hangman? So we can come up with some shit. Apocalypse. Level 5. Let's check out my opponent. They're sporting some jewelry. 2 billion earned. So do the math. Take 8,944, divide 2 billion by 8,944, and that'll tell you how much they've won per hole that they've won, and that'll tell you what tour they play on a regular basis. And I can tell you when you win in that tour, they got a lot of wins, and that's a lot of tour play. Apocalypse. Let's bring out the extra mile. There we go. That looks better. I was like, what the hell is going on? What's going on, man? 4-4. I'm going to move it a lot. Hitting it perfect. See if I can not hit the rough right here and catch it so that I just bleed out. Yeah, anything to the left there, and it would have been like a 1 ring great to the left might have rolled out, because it starts to curve to the right above where I'm at. But a 2 ring great to the right definitely hit too deep in the rough. I think this is about as close as I can get. I'm not sure. I don't think I have enough topspin. I can't do. There's max club. There's min, so I'm at mid club, which is 1.1 per ring. So I'm just going to make a normal adjustment. I'm just going to do a 1-to-1. Move it 3-3. Three and a third. Getting it perfect. Getting a hole. I still didn't pull enough. So a 1-to-1 there, I was at mid club. So if I added on 10%, and we're way the hell downhill, if I added on 10%, that would have balanced the 1-1. I'm at mid club, 1.1 per ring. So the win times 1.1 divided by 1.1, so you can balance out the 1.1s, just straight up 1-to-1. So I think I need to play 1-to-1 plus 10%. Or I need to play mid club plus 20. Let's see if that number's the same. That's not the same. So if the win was 2 times 1.2 divided by 1.1 is 2.18. Two point 2.18. Two point 181818. 2.81. I'm trying to do the math here. I'll remember. Where the shit was I? Where am I? We're in a APOC and a Zerk. That's all I got wrote down for hole number 7. Hole number 7, APOC and a Zerk. Okay. I'm not going to talk. I'm trying to make it over in 1. I'm trying to get over here in 1. My opponent yesterday, I showed yesterday, like hitting out into here and then just hitting it up with a 0 power ball. And that's exactly what my opponent did. They just came out here. Now they did. I thought they kind of were sloppy setting their shot up, but they were in an okay spot. But they left some on the table. But they had a great shot with a 0 power ball. So you can come out here with a 0 power ball. You can do, there's several different ways that you can try and skin this cat. So I'm going to bring a Zerk and an APOC, my number 5 bag and a Zerk. And I will just pick it out on the course. We'll spend some time. All right, if I can't get an opponent, I might as well go pick it. And I actually think I was on the wrong hole right there. It's probably a good thing that I got out when I did. Selected. My number 5 bag. We're on hole number 7. Yeah, I don't think I changed it, so it's a good thing I didn't get matched up. It's a good thing I got out when I did. They almost sucked me in for one. Whew! Maybe. Dave goes first. Let's see what Dave's going to do. Dave's got a level 8 Apocalypse. Awesome. And the way that that's coming out, the key there is to stretch that out and see where your second bounce is at. And your second bounce, you can cut that distance and you can get, well, you might have been able to get farther forward. But they did not. Which way's the wind blowing? Of course. Of course. Okay, I didn't give myself enough room yesterday. I want to hit way in the shit out here. That gives me 5 rings of separation. I'm going to hit out here because I'm going to put curl on it. I'm going to give myself a full 5 rings of separation. 4, 7. And I'm going to pull it. That's double. I'm going to put some of that side spin back. Yeah, maybe a little. Hit it 1 ring great to the left on the outside, and I have room on the outside. couldn't make it. I would have needed to bring it in more to the right, but with all that curl, I was on the right track. That's how much the wind is killing you down there. It's double. You got to have a side wind, a pure side wind, or even a titch ahead side, but it's got to be pretty damn close to just pure side wind or tailwind, any kind of tailwind. You can make it over with a Power 5 ball, and it could be problematic with pure tailwind, because now it's pushing you forward twice as hard, and so you got to account for it. It'll be easier for us to figure out how much to work it out when we're dealing with tailwind. But the wind's not as high this time, and I'm going to pinch it more and see if I could pick up any distance if I came over here, because the wind's a little lower. So I'm just going to give myself 4 rings of separation. I got a lot of curl on it, so I'm trying to get, actually, if I make it through, I would hit the sand. 3, 3, that'd be 6, 6. That'd be almost 4 rings. And I hit it 1 ring on the left. And still can't make it against a headwind with a Power 5 ball. I wish my opponent would miss one so I could take it one more time. I could switch it up. I'm not sure that I can. I got a birdie. Excellent. Let's see if we can get it done with an extra mile. I don't have as much curl, but I am rough bumping it, so it's not flying across over there. 3, 7. Give myself a little bit of room. Oh, that's definitely not gonna cut. That'll hit the rough on this side. I'm just trying to see if I can fight a headwind, and what I'm saying is that we used to be able to fight that little of a headwind, but they've made the wind. It's sneaky because. And I'd like comments if anybody else is experiencing the same thing. But the wind, like that wind where you'd say, oh, we're going to do a 20% or a 10%. If we're going against a headwind, it's like a pure headwind like that, or a stronger headwind. It's like a 60 or 100% movement, because it's killing it. And it's really laying it down if you stretch it out and you're in max overpower and you're 5 rings off. And it's still pushing you into it. It's way off. Not on that one. That shot was so far off, but you can tell how much it's killing that ball. But that is the shot. And it's definitely going to be easier with an extra mile. I don't know why I wrote APOC. I got more topspin, extra mile, and it might work better with a ball that's got topspin boost. Is it better? I guess this is a question I don't know the answer to. Is it better to have a 4-power 2 topspin boost ball on a shot that you can get the topspin boost all involved? Is it better to have 2 topspin and a 4-power ball, or a 5-power ball just outright, because it does hit farther forward? But in a shot like that, stretching your first bounce out till your second bounce is topspin. And so I think the topspin might be better. That might be better with a 4. I'm going to try a 4, 5. All right. I got some notes on that one. Hole number 8. Okay, on hole number 8, I'm taking a sniper, a katana, 1 backspin, 2 right-hand side spin, plus 10% is what I did in the opener. So 1.1, or my practice round, and this part 3 I was in the right, and I saw the no move shot. On hole number, I think it's hole number 2. Right, one backspin. Katana. A katana ball, if I can find a katana ball. Wow, I found one. One backspin, two right hand side spin. Let's do a plus 10%, so 3.8. 4.18 rings. There's 4 and 8. Hitting it perfect. Get in the hole. Woo! In the hole. That's what I'm talking about. That's recording my own video, so I was able to. I went and looked at the shot, and I think I hit it perfect in the practice round in the scouting report, and was able to see where I was off and make an adjustment. Now I can go back and watch the video and see where I was out in my rings with that adjustment. I like to be able to pull my ball as pretty close to where I'm making the one backspin, two right hand side spin adjustment, and like get it up into that area and then make the adjustment, because it's easier to make the adjustment when you're watching the ball guide. So if you like, what I did there was I tried to make the adjustment before I moved it, and it was just kind of, it's easier to make it if you're close to the position. You can see what's happening. At least it is for me. Hole number 9. Now I can play off my notes and I can go back, and some of these holes I'm still working on the drive, and some of these holes I'm now starting to practice the second shot, because I think I'm in the right spot. Hole number 9. What is hole number 9? Yeah, and this hole right here, I actually have, I'm not sure that I need a katana, but I came down here because I wasn't sure about the side spin coming from this spot up in here. I think originally I put this, there was one backspin and two right side spin. But I think originally I tried to set it up, I was like blue ring or orange ring off up in this area. I think I was blue ring off, so it was kind of like a starting point where I could pull up here and put my blue ring off of it, and then I could set the spin up and then adjust if I needed to. Hole number 9. What is hole number 9? Let's get an Albie right here. All right. So as far as I know, there's only 2 ways to play it, and I still can't remember the second shot. I know that when my buddy Dunner, because he plays this side over here, I think he's trying to get as much distance as he can down here. But I think there is a spot that you can overhit where you make it more difficult on yourself. So there is, if you're hitting over here, there is a spot that's better than others. And I'm not so sure that he's not trying to do a second bounce rough bump off of the island where the trees are at. It almost feels like that's what he's doing. He's like doing one bounce out here and then doing a second bounce rough bump, and there's like a funnel that's up there. But you really got to hit it perfect, because if you hit it great to the right, you're in the fucking trees. And that could be bad, because there's rough there and there's trees and there's all kinds of crap. So if you hit perfect all the time, there is a funnel. But if you don't hit perfect all the time, trying to get down in here so that you have this shot. And I'm not so sure. I think that you can get all the way down here and you're in better shot than if you're up here. But I haven't gotten all the way down to the end yet. Maybe we will today. Maybe. I'm going to take one of those top spin boost balls. The 4. We'll see. We'll see if I can get... I don't need the... So earlier I needed that ball for the spin, and I didn't use the top spin. And here I don't care as much about the spin. Looking for the top spin. APOC. Bag number 5. So I must be looking for some spin. Hole number 9. Here we go. 4 power, 2 boost. 3 rings off, max left curl. So I think in the opener, or in the scouting report, I went out there and on the other side, when I'm at max pull, I was like 2.5 rings off, and I was trying to do, and I did a max curl shot with my APOC, and I hit it perfect, and it was too high. I over curled it, so I chipped it back out onto the fairway. I hit it like 1 ring great to the left, but I was way high. So I have got room, so I'm going to give myself 3 rings. Nice shot. And we will practice it against the Marlin. The deal is that, hey, and you can get crap from people because you're coming out and bringing out some big ball, but the whole deal is that it doesn't help you to go, hey, I'm going to practice these holes with a Marlin, and then on the weekend round, hey, I've got some of those balls, and I'm going to go out and I'll play them with the better balls, and then I'll be better. No, that doesn't work unless you practice with those balls, because they hit in a totally different area. So your next shot's totally different than what you practiced for. You have to practice with the ball that you're going to use. That's why if you're playing at Masters, or if you're playing higher up the ranks, the higher up you get, the more balls you're going to go through, because you're playing. Okay, I can leave myself 3 rings. This is where I was at, where I could leave myself 3 rings. I'm going to give myself 2 3/4, 3 4, 1.5 per ring. So there's 3 1/3. I hit 2 rings on the right, 2 rings on the outside. It'll be fine here. Now it's whether or not, like, because you're trying to run down that if you're in the middle. So if I hit it perfect, I'd have been right up against the top. I'm leaving myself plenty of room. With that setup right there, I'm leaving myself plenty of room on the right and less room on the left. And I'd actually like to be maybe even more to the right. I didn't think there was I don't think there's a ref bump here. Is there a ref bump here with a sniper? Shit, there might be. El Perfecto. Okay, I'm doing plus 10%. 1.1 times whatever the wind is, wherever the hell I'm at in my club. There's max. Here's min. So I'm at mid grizzly. So 2.3 equals grizzly divided by 1.1, 2.3. Right back at 2.3. Just a normal clap. Just tap it in. Tap it in. There's 2, 2.5. There's 2, 3. I should have switched to the other way. That was 1 ring great to the right. That was right there. You hit those perfect. It's hard to get, the whole deal about practice is you practice that hole until you hit one perfect. So if you can hit the first one perfect, then you can get a pretty good read from it. But if you don't hit the first one perfect, then you got to go back and you got to do it again. You can think you need to make an adjustment. That was right at it. If I'd hit it perfect. If. perfect. If I'd hit it perfect. All right, that was a practice round. I'm just chilling. We got done with work early today, so I came home and I watched my video and wrote down notes and then played based off my notes. And I think that I'll go back and watch this video. This is why if you're trying to get better in the brackets, you know, going back and watching yourself, and it's almost like being in football where you're going back and you're watching tape and you're going, hey man, when we did this play, like you were out of place, or you put it in the wrong spot, like you got distance but you actually overshot it. Like, wow, on that particular one I screwed up and I didn't get the distance I was looking for, or I was in headwind and I didn't get the distance I was looking for, but that second shot is much better than the shot that I've been taking 10 yards ahead of me. I don't think it gives us a round. Can I see my round? Can I see my scorecard? This is the overall scorecard, so minus 15. So it's possible to get a minus 15. Let's see, what can we get? Let's see if we can get what can we get here? What have we not picked up? We picked up hole number 1, we picked up hole number 3. Been super close on hole number 9. That's just a matter of hitting it perfect into that hole. That is right freaking there. Picking up hole number 8, that par 3. One of the par 3s. One of the par 5s is one of the par 4s. Got to start. All right, there was practice. That was me practicing. That was me just having some fun and going out there and playing. Thanks for watching. Everybody have a great week. This is going to be, I think, on all of these 9-hole cups, the scores have changed. So, like, when I talk about minimum score, on almost every course out there, it's minus 12. But really, to get a banner, you've got to start your minimum at minus 15. So if you're a minus 12 player, and that's minimum score, what you need to do is work on the par 4s to try and, because not in every case, but because we want to pick up par 3s, we want to pick up par 5s, but par 4s are almost always our best opportunity to pick up shots. And if we can pick up all 3 of the par 4s, and a lot of courses, it's not, I'm not going to say it's easy to do anything, but it's possible to pick them up like where you're on one. But there's a lot of holes where you have to shoot it in from distance, but you can get close, and the closer you get, the better it is. It's better to be in minimum short iron than it is to be in maximum short iron. It's more accurate down there. It's like if you're off just a little, it can still go in. But we have to think as minus 15 as our minimum, and so in regular tournaments we start at minus 15. So anything, if you shoot a 30 or better, you got a pretty good shot at a banner. But the banners pretty much start at the minus 15. Well, these 9-hole cups, because we don't get that extra practice round for people that have a lot of accounts, usually the minus 15 is the winner. We don't have to get the minus 16. So if you can shoot a minus 15, you're putting yourself in a pretty good spot. Even though the minimum score is minus 12, you've got to pick up 3. And what you really want to do is you want to pick up all 3 of the par 4s and then something else, because that something else separates you from the crowd. And so picking up that par 3, and what's really awesome is when you're on those days where you pick up the par 3s or the par 5s that you've been struggling on, or that you weren't expecting. Like on that hole, you were just going there to get your minimum score and move the hell on. Thanks for watching. Have a great week, and I'll post ones I'll play my opening round or my qualifying round early and get it in. I'll get up early that day and get it in. Stay safe.